It's another day in the Fortnite community, and that means it is another day where people are arguing. I was starting to think for a little bit that Chapter 5 Season 3 was probably the most polarizing season that we've had in Fortnite. Then I sat back and I'm like, no, that's completely not true, because Chapter 1 Season 7 existed. People are blinded by nostalgia on that one, and Chapter 1 Season X existed. So we've been through worse. But regardless, guys, I wanted to take a look at another Twitter thread today, or a bunch of replies to something that's going on, because someone brought up a point to Josiah that I found really interesting, and I would love to know what you guys think about it down below afterwards. We're going to get into that in just a second. Before we do, though, I do want to say hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's get started with Josiah, this first tweet that we've taken a look at a little while ago. He posted this in response to Fortnite. Just split the competitive and casual loot pools, man. I'm glad I played so much the first week because I feel like the unique gameplay is near completely gone. Waited 2 years for another chaotic season and for it to be gone in 2 weeks. So this is a tweet that we took a look at in another video, and what's interesting is a quote tweet actually came up about this. And the reason that I want to talk about this, first of all, it's interesting, but I had this tweet in particular sent to me a couple times. Now, I would love to know what you guys think. I'm going to say this really quick. I want to know what you guys think, if you guys really want me to just cover the big giant things that's going on, or would you like it if I just covered these random Twitter threads or like interesting things that came across the Fortnite community, something that got quite a bit of attention in the community. That's what kind of I've been here for recently, so I'm here covering it. I would just love some feedback on the channel. Anyways, Boop NL had this to say, and he quote tweeted Josiah. It's always the minority of players with the loudest voices. The current player count speaks for itself. We're at some of the lowest averages since before OG Fortnite. This isn't because of competitive players. Epic sees the data and changes it for the majority who hate it. And of course, you can see the graph here that there are 1,186 and 42 players right now, and then you had another 24-hour peak, but compared to the all-time peak 6 months ago at 11,600,374 players. But 6 months ago, was 6 months ago OG Fortnite, or was it the beginning of Chapter 5? Regardless, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. There was a lot going on with Fortnite. So I don't know if that's necessarily honest to kind of bring some of the greatest times that we've ever had in Fortnite and compare it to the season now, but I want to take you through a bunch of replies over here. So Boop ended up having a little bit more to say with that. Never really understood the casuals hating on competitive take. Competitive rarely get their way. Each season is specifically designed to cater to the casual community. Siphon, ranked, and pubs being the same. Epic designs for the majority of players, and it's always the casuals. But when things change because people are whining and crying, who are they necessarily listening to? But hey, let's hear what everybody has to say. So there's a reply to this by a username of the Pumped Up Nick. They literally made massive changes that only competitive players wanted 2 weeks ago, man. And yeah, for each season should cater to the casual community, because Fortnite is and always has been a casual game first and foremost. This, honestly, I agree with, but on this other side of the coin, I'm totally on just separate the loot pools. I don't understand why it's not a thing. I don't even understand Epic's case on it. I just think that they should be separated completely. Evolve Jake decided to pipe in over here, and I'm a big fan of Evolve Jake, but I actually find myself disagreeing with him on some of this stuff over here. Anyways, the idea that competitive players dislike the car meta or fist spam is so funny to me. I see casual players complaining about it very often as well, and as you showed, the player count reflects that. A huge percent of players aren't going to complain online. They're just going to play less or not at all. But you can take that huge this huge amount of people that do enjoy the game. You can say the same thing about the people who do enjoy the game and people who don't enjoy the game. The majority of people in general are going to be silent. People are going to be silent and play the game. People are going to be silent and not play the game. It's just the negative people are more likely to decide to pipe up on Twitter. Anyways, let's continue on to another reply. There are still 1.1 million players playing, which is more than CSGO and other free games, which is true. Everybody likes to talk about Fortnite dying and Fortnite being cooked. This is the worst season of Fortnite ever, and the game is absolutely finished, but it's just not even close to being the case, of course, right? But then we actually had a reply to that saying, and this is Boop again, you can only compare Fortnite to Fortnite. This was a very low player count season compared to the usual. The overwhelming majority hate it. It's only the small minority on Twitter who make a big fuss about it and get thousands of likes. This is interesting to me because is it really the overwhelming majority of people that hate the season? No, you only really see the competitive players complaining. I don't see it anywhere. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of looking with my eyes over here. And there's another reply to it in reply back to Boop. I mean, there's nothing wrong with comparing Fortnite to other free games, which is true in terms of player count. And yes, indeed, Fortnite player count is at an all-time low, but we can't ignore the fact that it has more players than other free games. So I understand what iGen's saying. You can compare it. There's nothing wrong with comparing it, but I do understand what Boop says, where hey, the conversation is about comparing this season of Fortnite to a previous season of Fortnite. Why are we talking about other games? In this conversation, it is best to compare Fortnite to Fortnite. Another reply over here from Walker Fortnite. In this context, there is something wrong with comparing Fortnite to other free games. You want to see how good a season is performing, you need to compare it to the last few seasons, not with CSGO, etc. And that's kind of where the conversation is at. But again, there's nothing really wrong with comparing it to other games because it just shows that no matter what's going on with Fortnite right now, it's a massive, massive success. One of the greatest games of all time, or the greatest game of all time, I would argue. Anyways, let's continue in. AM Zap 394 piped up and had this to say. It's summer, people have things going on, season was advertised poorly, season 3 is always the lowest in each chapter, OG Fortnite wave is dying off, game probably played a small part in it, but with that logic, most people would still have at least tried the season. So, this is where I'm at, and I actually don't know what to think about it, to be honest. I've spoke about this in other videos. The season launched on, what was it, a Thursday or Friday when people are in school. It is summer. People do have things going on. And people like to talk about how because it's summer, people are sitting back and playing Fortnite. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know because I know a lot of kids that go outside. I know a lot of kids that stay inside. I don't really know. I don't have an opinion on that one. I would love to know what you guys think about that down below. But it is a weird timing to begin a Fortnite season. Let's continue on with Roguish Swift. Fortnite had the same amount of concurrent players last year at this time. This is the cycle that the player base goes through. Players start to fall off as the chapter goes on and come back when things get exciting. It is standard burnout and not because the season is specifically bad. And you can see a couple screenshots over here from June 3rd and June 6th. I'm guessing, oh, it's in 23. Okay, I see. Anyways, there's screenshots over here from the player count. I don't know where this, I'm going to assume it's accurate just for the sake of argument over here, but I'm taking this with a grain of salt. The problem with this is you're comparing it to what a lot of the people say is one of the worst seasons in Fortnite history, that being Fortnite Wilds. But if you go back and think about most of Season 3s, if you think about like Chapter 2 Season 3, or even like, yeah, Chapter 3 Season 3, yeah, nobody really liked those seasons. They kind of dropped the ball with a lot of Season 3s, haven't they? So I don't know if you can argue it's the fact that like, okay, well, it's the same player count as last year, but last year people didn't like the season, but this year I feel like people are liking the season. So it's a mixed bag. I don't really know what to think. And guys, like, of course, as always, I would love to know what you guys think down below after this. Oh, and then Swift continued on. We are actually getting more players now than back at Wilds. The data I used for last year is a week before Wilds started. Here's the launch day numbers for both Wilds and Wrecked. Okay, so that's really interesting, actually. People loved Chapter 4 Season 2. People really liked Chapter 5 Season 2, but not nearly as much. So again, I don't really know. Maybe it's the season being fun. I think that most casual players are enjoying the season a lot more. Well, I don't know about right now because Epic Games is continuing to nerf the season. But again, it's a very, very interesting conversation to be had over here. Let's continue on to Changing Chris. Cars are still in the game. Nitro Fists are in the game. If they had to find those things fun, they can still use them. I don't know what they have to complain about. They just want an easy kill button. Them playing against mostly AI has warped their view of what Fortnite should be so hard. So I don't know how I feel about that one, Fortnite being difficult as the first game. That's why people started disliking Fortnite in general. Like the competitive scene, don't get me wrong, I like Fortnite competitive, okay? But you can't argue that the vast majority of players like Fortnite to be a little bit on the easier side. I'm not saying they just want free kills. Some people do believe that, and that's absolutely ridiculous. But to argue that they can still use them where the Nitro Fists are nerfed and the cars are still nerfed, yeah, you can use them, but it's not nearly as fun. It's not the same thing. Yeah, you can use them, but again, it's not the same thing. So I believe there is something to complain about when it comes to these nerfs. Let's continue on to Broom With Me. Yes, the numbers are low, totally because the season sucks and not because people are spending their summer on doing other things too. Plus, many of the player base were busy with IRL things like having exams, graduating, and just working in general. So yeah, again, a little bit more of, I don't know what to think about this one. Usually I have a little bit of an opinion when it comes to this stuff, but for me, my life doesn't change much at this point in my life. I'm working on YouTube, I'm playing with my dog, I'm hanging with my wife and baby. You know, most days are pretty similar to me. It doesn't really matter what time of year it is. And I don't really know, because if it was me back in the day, and I was in high school about a decade ago, so what I would have been doing was going out and partying, right? That's what I would have been doing in summer, but I don't know if kids are doing that now, especially after 2020. Life has changed for so many people. If this was my generation, we'd all be gone. We would all be partying and doing things that we're not supposed to. That's what we would be doing. But what about kids today? Kids being raised on tablets, kids growing up with video games, you know? I don't really know. I don't know. And I'd love for you guys to comment down below. Please let me know what you guys think about this. Guys, And let me know what you think about everything down below, because this was a little bit of a strange video. As always, I would love some constructive criticism on the video. Would you like me to look through these smaller threads? I really enjoy doing them personally. I like it when you guys are sending me threads. It really actually helps me out for these videos, so thank you very, very much, and thank you for being here. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know again for about the 5th time, sorry about that, what you guys think down below. Check out one of these videos on screen right now. We'll have 2 videos over here for you. I will see you over there or in the next video, guys. Take care.